All right, guys, Dave is back from Davan Group. After the huge success of our first YouTube video, we decided to jump right into it and make our second one. I'm alone. As I explained in the first video, Ryan's out for the weekend doing some curling. He'll be joining me for future videos of the other sheets. But I wanted to get this launch tracker explanation video out to you because I know a lot of you in our group, in our Facebook group, already got the launch tracker, and this is going to be a walkthrough on how to use it. It's personally our favorite sheet. We don't just use it to launch our products, we also do it to relaunch our products. Amazon kind of screwed up one of the LTL pickups. We've recently been out of stock for over 2 months. Super frustrating, especially with the ASIN restock limit. But we're now focused on relaunching those products, and we have our launch tracker, and we're going to walk you through the exact same process that we do essentially with this sheet. Okay, if you haven't watched our video yet for the keyword planner, this is kind of like step 2. So watch that video first, the keyword planner explanation video. We kind of walk through how we find our keywords, how we split them up into lists. And now this video is going to show you how we track those lists during the launch. Okay, so let's jump right in. This is our launch tracker. It's a massive sheet. It's a beast. And it's basically split up into 3 tabs at the bottom. This only works with Microsoft Excel. You do have to have macros enabled. The sheet is locked just to protect it from accidental mistakes. The formulas are huge in the background. And remember, anything that is blue, you guys can go ahead and edit. And the rest will calculate automatically. Okay, I'm going to do a quick overview, and then we're going to jump into each part. This video is going to be, I'm guessing, about 30 minutes. It's quite a lot to explain. And then hopefully you guys will have a good understanding of how to use our launch tracker. So the first tab here is basically our diary. It's our journal. We keep track of all of our launch, all of the key metrics to see, was it a successful launch? Was it not a successful launch? The second tab right here is basically where we're going to be able to track our keywords. We're going to do a deeper dive into this later. And the third one here is where we have our keyword lists prepared. So we do all of the work up front so that when we launch, we can really focus just on our PPC and tracking our launch. We've got to make sure that everything is in place before the product is even on Amazon. So the keyword planner, we had split them up into different phases. Go watch that video. We had here phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I made another list here combining all of those keywords. This Excel sheet allows you to pre-populate 6 different lists of 40 keywords each. And then at any time you can track them. Okay, so let's dive in. That's the quick overview. So we have keyword lists. We have a keyword dashboard that'll track the organic ranking of those keywords. And then we're going to talk about the launch tracker overview. Now, this sheet does require you to have Helium 10, because what we're going to do is we're going to pull the information from Helium 10. It'll fully be automated just to give it a very nice visibility from the metrics from Helium 10. Because Helium 10 has great data, we find that we present it nicer. Okay, so let's dive in. So the first thing here on the sheet is on the top. It's essentially here, we just put in our ASIN. We're going to have to, do a Cerebro on ourselves. We do it once a day just to make sure we're indexing for keywords. I'll show you that. So I like to have the ASIN here so I can just copy and paste it because I don't memorize them. We type in the product name, just something so that we can remember what it's at. You'll notice that the product name will also appear then after over here. Just if I ever send a screenshot to a buddy of mine, or if you guys, then it'll be like, oh, this is the what product I'm talking about. So Ryan and I find that useful. Okay, and then we put our launch date, right? So as soon as you change this launch date, for example, if we change it to 30th of June, then you're going to see that these dates here, they're also going to update to the beginning of launch. So go ahead and put in the beginning of your launch. The price for this demonstration is going to be June 24th. Now there's a couple boxes up here. Ryan and I just do this essentially just to remind ourselves, what was our target, right? So we understand that during our launch, we're not going to reach our ultimate target. The algorithm's still learning our product. We're not ranked on all the keywords. But we say, for example, after the launch, if we think that our product should do about $15,000 revenue a month and our target price, we want it to be about $30, then we're going to have to sell about 500 units a month and 17 units a day. So this is just a very quick overview. It's a reminder for us. This is what our target is after we launch. And then we say, well, our launch is going to be anywhere between 30 and 50% of that, right? We're still starting up. We're going to show Amazon system, continuous growth. Our launch price might be a bit lower just because we don't have reviews yet. So I might put in here, okay, it's $25. So that my expected monthly revenue during launch is going to be anywhere between 3,700 and 6,250. Monthly units would be 150 to 250, depending if it's a 30 or 50%. So I should be looking for approximately 6 to 9 units. Now, this is just, we put that in up front. It's just to give us a feel for how much should we be expecting, right? So expectation management. Okay, and that's all you have to do up on top. You can do it. You don't have to do it. Anything on here, you don't have to do it, right? It's something that we do to track all of the metrics. So the first thing we're going to track, so we hit launch our product and we want to see, okay, are we starting to be shown? Now, this information in this section, this entire section here, you guys can actually get from Amazon, right? So I'll show you where to get it. You have to go into over here. I'll start over here. So you go to reports on Seller Central, go to business reports right here. Okay, so reports, business reports. And then on the side here, you're going to click on detailed page, sales and traffic by parent item. Okay, and that's going to give you this matrix right here with all of those different metrics that we're going to end up keep tracking. What you do have to do is you have to go here and change the date to the individual day. So you get the metrics just for that one day that you're tracking, right? And then you can see your session percentage, page views. And then just go ahead and type those in manually. This is a manual process, so it goes a bit quicker instead of copy and paste. Just type in, okay, we got 21 sessions, 66 page views, for example, 5 units ordered. I would type in the unit session percentage that is being shown, right? So you go here, unit session percentage. Okay, on this, it was 45%. But in the demo, we're saying it's, let's say, 23.8%. You put the sales and the total order items, okay? And all this does is allows us on the sheet to keep track of how many units did I sell in my first week of launch, for example, how much revenue did it make, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so this you get from Amazon, pretty straightforward. Then the sales source. This takes a bit of manual work as well. So we say out of those 5 items that were ordered, where did they come from? Well, if you go to, let's say you're not doing any giveaways at the beginning and you're not running any external ads, then you know those sales aren't coming from there. That means if on the campaign manager, it said 3 of those sales came from PPC, then you know that 2 of them were organic. So that's a total of 5. Right. So now we know that our organic to paid ratio is 40 to 60%. And the objective is eventually to get it more organic, right? So if the green bar goes up, that means more of your sales are coming from organic than paid. So that would be like a nice thing to see. Okay. So we fill in how many organic sales, PPC. Now, external sales are a bit tricky to track. We do have attributions engaged with Amazon. We find that it's not always accurate or that the information lags a bit. But just, do the best that you can. If you're doing giveaways, even vines. So we like to include vines, like over here. This was a product that we launched in October last year. It wasn't a cat tower, but we just copy pasted these numbers to give you guys some real numbers during the launch. So we did one giveaway, but it was a vine. So we just had actually put it in here. So we know that, okay, well, it actually cost us money. We had to, we gave away a free product. So we added it here. We considered that like a paid sale. If you do a search, find, buy, you can also put it in the giveaways column. Okay, so this part is manual. Over here, we're just keeping track of our sales price. Now, what we use the LAUNCH.tracker for is not just keep track of this launch, but we've launched several SKUs already, and we're planning on launching several more. And there comes a certain point that a product, ends up reaching 40, 50 units a day, and you kind of become used to that. And you forget that, during the launch days, and maybe you only had 3 or 4 a day. So it's nice for us, before we launch a new product, we kind of go back and say, okay, we know a product that's selling now 60 units a day. Let's take a look at the numbers during the launch. How did they do? Okay, look, we got 5 units on our first day, 13 on the second, 12. Then it dipped a bit. It dipped on a Sunday. Maybe Sundays weren't as good for us. Stuff like that. It just kind of gives us some insight. It allows us to learn from our previous launches, essentially. So that's why we also keep track of the price. Okay, so you just put in the sales price here. We were actually running a bit better than expected. This was an October launch, Q4. We were ranked pretty good. So we increased our price pretty quickly. And okay, review count. We keep track of the reviews, right? So at the beginning, we had 0 reviews. So here we saw it took us 14 days to get our first reviews. They're 5 stars. We got 2 of them in the same day. So yeah, we just keep track of the reviews as well. It'll teach us for the future, and you can see, at what point are the reviews coming in. Okay, number of giveaways. This is important to keep track of, also for the financials, to see, okay, this actually cost us 35 bucks, essentially. That was like lost revenue. So we keep track of it here. If you do search, find, buy, and it might be, you might type in here, okay, I did 3 of them. The cost of one giveaway was, the $29.95, because on that day we're still selling them at $29.95, and I did a full giveaway. It'll add up. The total was then it costs you about $89.85 to run that giveaway. Okay, so that's why we track it here. Okay, I'll just undo those. Okay, and then sponsored products. So now we keep track of our ad spend, right? External ad spend, if you're running Google ads or Facebook ads, we just go in, and on that day, you can just, set the time scale to that day. It'll tell you how much money you spent on it. Some of them, they also lag a bit behind. So you might have to check, like, in 2 days, how much did I spend on June 24th? So you put in how much was our external ad spend, and then also how much did we spend on PPC. So the nice thing is here, it'll tell you the total ad spend per unit that you sold. So here was $9, which equates to about 30% tacos, right? So in a quick overview, you can see what was your tacos on that product during the launch. Okay. All right. And the last thing we track is basically, are we indexing for keywords? So this is not ranking. We just want to know, are we indexing for keywords? So for that, we're going to have to use the index tracker on Helium 10 by doing a Cerebro, and I'll show you guys how to find those. So you copy and paste your ASIN. That's why we have it up here. Copy and paste your ASIN. And then, wrong way. Nice to see you guys. Okay, and then you just, you do the Cerebro, you do a reverse ASIN lookup. So you paste that ASIN in, and you hit get keywords. Now, we actually run one every day during launch, because this, you cannot go back in time, right? So you cannot say, show me how many keywords I was indexed, 3 days ago. You can. So if you miss it, that's fine. Do it every 3 days if you're too busy during the launch. But if not, we do it every day. We just want to see a progression. And we do it around the same time of day as well. So every time you get keywords, it'll actually appear, hey, you've already run the search. Would you just like to use the historical data, or would you like to run it new? Always select new data, right? So you want to do a new search. So you hit get keywords. And this distribution right here, this is what we're tracking during our launch. Okay, so there's total keywords, sponsor keywords, organic keywords, and Amazon recommended. Okay, so I'll show you. We just manually type it in. Total keywords, sponsor keywords, Amazon recommended, organic. And what we want to see is that this number continues to increase. That's how many keywords that we're actually being indexed for across the Amazon platform. Okay. The sheet is formatted that anytime if it goes down, it'll actually be red, just to kind of highlight it to you, right? So that you can be like, ooh, okay, I dropped there. I mean, if it's not a big significant drop, it really doesn't matter. It's just something to highlight it. And that's all we do. We keep track as a little journal of the metrics on a daily basis. Oh, a nice thing you can do as well is you can leave some notes, right? So you can say, we launched, okay. And then here you might say, you know what, it was way better than we thought, so we had to turn off PPC because not enough units are available. And it's just for you guys to remind yourself when you look back at it, when you're launching next one, hey, what did we do? Oh yeah, we turned it off. Why? Yeah, there weren't enough units available. Here you might say like, ran out of stock because Amazon only allowed me to send in 200 units and I sold them in the first 2 weeks or whatever. So then you might say ran out of stock. You might say I increased the price. If you do a search, find, buy, this is where we like to keep track of it. So we might say search, find, buy. The keyword was, and then you type in cat tower for large cats, for example. And the reason why we do that is we want to see, does that search, find, buy do anything to our ranking? Is it actually working? And we're going to track, or we're going to show you now how we track the ranking. Okay, so the first page is just tracking the metrics, making sure keywords are being indexed. And then after, what we're going to do is we're going to track now the keywords. Okay, that's it. One nice thing about the sheet is you can just hit the minus sign here after, and it'll kind of collapse it. So you can see your weekly 1 average, and then you can see your weekly 2 average, for example. And it's nice when you're launching. We track only 5 weeks, the first 5 weeks of the launch. You can just kind of compare week to week. You know, like our first week here, we sold 94, then we sold 97, but we made more sales because we increased the price, right? So it was more revenue. Okay, and that's the first tab. So pretty straightforward, easy to find the information. Some of it is manual, but the advantage of it being manual is you get a feel for what is my product doing during the launch. This section over here, I want to not talk about it just quite yet, because this is essentially the second tab as well. It's just a slimmed down version of it. And we're going to show you guys how to do this next. Okay, a little breather for everyone. So that was a lot of information. That was the launch tracker first tab. Now we're going to go to the keyword list. Keyword list, super simple. So here you copy and paste values from the keyword planner, right? Or you can manually type them in. You guys can create any list you want, right? You can call it here cat tree house, for example. So you create your list. You can either create them in here or on the keyword planner and then just copy and paste them in here. The nice thing is too, you can name them anything you want, right? So large cats, I recently learned that they're called chonkers. Chonkers. So instead of large cats or phase 3, let's call it chonkers. This is just to prep your list to have them in place. And then we're going to go to the keyword dashboard. The nice thing is you can see anything that you guys name the list, it'll actually appear here on the button. So here we have chonkers now, phase 1, phase 2. Okay, when we paste our keywords into the list, we have to paste them also in one more spot, and that is going to be in our keyword tracker on Helium 10. So we go to the keyword tracker, okay, that's in the analytics, keyword tracker. You're going to add them all to the keyword tracker, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to activate these boosts. Now the boosts are important. What the keyword tracker does is it takes a snapshot once a day of your organic rank, which is here. So let's say 23rd, 16, we're 19th ranked organically for that keyword, ranked organically 5 for this keyword. So it shows you your organic rank right in this column. The booster will actually take a snapshot every hour instead of just once a day. So it's super important. The only annoying thing about this is that it requires an hour, every 10 days, you have to manually reselect the boosters. Okay, so every 10 days, we have to go in and re-click it. It takes quite some time. On the plan that we have, we get 250 boosters. So we have to click 250 of these to make sure that we're tracking them on an hourly basis, because we know that the organic ranks, they do a bit of a shuffle throughout the day. Okay, so once we track our keywords, right? So we make sure that this is all set up before we even launch. We put our keywords in here. As soon as the product is live, right, we put our image in, we launched it, it's no longer suppressed. We'll add the ASINs and the keywords, we'll hit the boosters, and we're tracking it right from the beginning of our launch. What we're going to do is every morning when I wake up, I go to export this list and I go to history and I set the launch date to the current date. And every day I do that. So it always goes back from launch date to the current date. So I select the range, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to download it onto my computer. It's going to download a huge Excel file. Okay, now we go back to the launch tracker. It downloads a file onto our computer. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to upload it into this launch tracker to give it some color, to give it some life, to make it something a lot more useful. I go to upload new data, and I go to wherever it downloaded the file. Okay, so this is what the file name will look like. So you download this, and every day you just download a new one, and you just select it, and you go to open. What it's going to do now, it's going to import that data into this Excel sheet. So it's doing some of its calculations. That's why the macros are important, and it'll let you know that your launch tracker has been successfully updated. So we click OK. So as you can see now, we can take a look at the ranking of our keywords. So I'm going to take a look at the phase 1 keywords right here. So I click phase 1 button on the top left. That'll populate the keyword list right here. And I can see the keywords and their organic rank on a daily basis. And I can also see our visibility score. I'll explain that a bit later. So now I took this raw data from Helium 10, and just by plugging it into our launch tracker, I'm able to see what are these keywords doing? What is their organic rank doing? Am I moving up? Right? Is my search find by working? Search find by, is it working for that keyword? Am I ready to turn on PPC phase 2? So the purpose of the sheet isn't really to give you like a launch strategy. There's many different strategies out there, but it's to give you the tool so that you can track whatever strategy you're following. Is it working? Right? Any strategy, the objective should always be that it increases your organic ranking. And what this sheet does is it tracks your organic ranking for the keywords that you're targeting. Okay, so that is what our tool does. Our tool allows you to see if your strategy is working. So you're not flying blind. Okay, you have the instrument here, and then you can adjust and pivot accordingly. It's super simple. You just click any of these buttons, phase 2, for example. That'll then run the macro. It'll pull the keywords that you have in the keyword list called phase 2, and it'll start showing you the rank of your second phase. And that's it. The nice thing is too, you can also type in here. You can just type in cat tree, let's say, right here, cat tree. And oh, I didn't actually find it. I didn't have that one ready. Cat to, what are our lists? So remember, it's only going to find keywords that you actually were tracking on Helium 10, right? So cat tree was not one of them. Large cat tower. Let's see. I can go to the dashboard and type in large cat tower. So large cat tower, and I can see that rank. If you want to see how it's just one keyword performing, right, then you can just go ahead and delete the rest. And you get a nice graph of that one keyword. Like here you can see, oh, we're starting to dip a bit, but that just could be a fluctuation. Some of these will, as long as the overall trend is slightly upwards, then it's okay. Okay, it'll give you the search volume, which is nice. And now what we got to talk about is the visibility score and our reach. So what is visibility score? So Ryan and I, we decided what's important for us is to know how many people are from that search volume are most likely actually seeing our product, right? So you can see here the visibility score. If we're ranked 307 plus, that's what Helium 10 considers, we're going to stop looking for you. You're too far off. Chances are no one else is finding us organically either. So we got a visibility score of 0. If we're ranked organically number 1, chances are 100% of the people are going to see us. Everyone who searched that is going to see the organic rank 1. And then we came up with a formula. It's not a linear line, obviously, because especially on a lot of categories, if you're not on page 1, I mean, the chances are that people are going to page 2 drop significantly. So they're not going to find you. So this visibility score, obviously the higher, the better. But let's take a look at reach now. Now we said it might be nice to have a visibility score of 100%. That means you're organically 1. But if the search volume is like 54 searches a month, that doesn't have a lot of reach. You're going to be seen maybe once or twice a day. So we also came up with this reach. So it's essentially your visibility score times the search volume. So even though your visibility score might only be 38%, right? Let's see. So you're ranked 30th on a keyword that has a search volume of 12,000 a month, and your organic rank 30. So like on desktop, page 1, mobile, most likely page 2, right? That means 38% of the people will probably see you. And out of the 12,000, that's approximately 154 people a day. So this is a nice way for us to see where are our organic sales most likely coming from, right? And the good thing is the sheet, if you click on the triangle, you can sort them, right? So you can say, okay, I would like to sort, let's say, by reach. And then I can see, okay, these are the most people that are seeing my products are the people that are searching cat tree for large cat or modern cat tree. And then you can assume that most of your organic sales are coming from these keywords, right? And not 100%, but it's just a good indication. Okay, what we like to do is we like to sort by our visibility score, and that'll show us essentially our organic ranking, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and sort it, and then I can see the organic ranking. And what it gives you is a nice overview showing you like the bricks that your PPC is working. It'll give you a good indication. When can I jump from phase 1 of my launch to phase 2 of my launch? When do I want to go to phase 3? Like at this point now, I might say, if in the first 5 days, let's say we were just launching PPC on the phase 1 keywords, let's say the top ones. And then after about a week, because now, I'm starting to be in the green. In the green, it means, you're on green and bold means you're on page 1 mobile. You're between the 1st and 14th organically. If you're still green, but slowly getting white, I mean, you're in the top 70 organically. If it's white, it's 70 to 100. And then it starts getting red because chances are becoming slimmer and slimmer that people are finding you. So you definitely want to be white and higher. And it's a nice overview. So here you can see after about 6 days, maybe I turn on phase 2 of PPC. And even though I'm not running PPC, let's say on the bottom keywords here right from the get-go, the halo effect is allowing me to start slowly ranking for these as well, right? And then what we like to do is we like to see, okay, as soon as we're starting to bubble under, so we're in the white, we're getting to the white, now might be a good time at that point to turn on PPC for those keywords now. Some of those bigger search volume ones that might not be as relevant to us, we're going to turn on the PPC on those now, so that just break into the green. So we don't turn on PPC all at once. We follow I mean, that's once again talking about strategy. The purpose of this video is not to talk about strategy, just to show you how to use the sheet. But yeah, our strategy is essentially, we always wait till we get close enough and then we turn on PPC. We don't do it from the beginning because the honeymoon period gives us so much leeway at the beginning. Re-ranking, we used obviously different strategies because we're no longer in a honeymoon period. So there we have to be a bit more aggressive with PPC. Okay, what else can I say about the sheet? Oh, just another cool thing. Like if you wanted to say, okay, I would rather sort, show me like day 7 on June 30th, let's say. So you can say day 7, and now I want to sort, by what's the visibility. So it'll show you the visibility score on day 7. And then you can say, show me on day 7, what was the keyword with the most reach. You can sort by day 7, right? And then this tab allows you to choose what you're sorting by. Default is that it'll always take the latest day. Okay, so a little breather. This sheet, once again, shows you the overview. You can delete them all and just track one keyword at a time if you want. You can put them all your keywords in here. You can type them. What we do is we just prepare them up front, right? So we have them here prepared, and then you can just select use this list. For example, that'll auto-populate the keyword dashboard, give you the overview. To import the data is extremely simple. You just upload new data. You just download it from the keyword tracker on Helium 10. We do that daily. So the last thing I want to show you here, and then we did it, is back on the overview page. What the overview page does too is kind of allows you to populate these with keywords. So you can choose your 4 most important keywords for the launch, for example. And as long as it's displayed here in the keyword dashboard at the time, okay, so we all usually have a list of like the important ones, then you're able to get the overview here as well, right? Which is nice to see essentially next to your notes, like, okay, I did a search find by here and look, it just jumped, from red to white because I did a search find by on that keyword modern cat tree, for example. Stuff like that. It'll allow you to scroll through that entire list too. So it's not limited to 4, you have 5. You can just scroll through and just get a quick overview. Yeah, okay. And then you can see also your organic ranking here on a daily basis. Just a cool little extra feature that we did. Oh, here, large cat tree. That one's, see, it's red and it's starting to break white. So it took about 2 weeks to get into the white, for example. Okay, so it's a lot of information at once. I hope you guys didn't find it too boring. We absolutely love doing this sheet. It's so exciting to actually see your own product come to life when you're launching. This is, in our opinion, the first tool that'll actually give evidence and show you the honeymoon period, right? Because you're starting to rank for big keywords, even though you're not running any PPC on them. It allows you to find any anomalies. Oh, here's another good anomaly I just saw. Look, we're breaking into all of these, but there's a small search volume, 1,800, and I'm not breaking it at all. It says 307 plus the entire time. And then I go look at the keyword and it's called cat tower for indoor cats large. And I might then question, why is that not appearing? And I remember that we forgot to add the word indoor to our listing. It's not in the bullet points and the front end and the title. So we might add it then to a bullet point, or we might put it into the search term, at least in the back end, right? And by tracking it like that, any anomalies might, jump out at you. Okay, that's basically it. I really hope you enjoyed it. A lot of info. If you guys have any questions, comment on the video, like our Facebook group. We answer all the questions that are in the Facebook group. And that's essentially it. That's our launch tracker. Now go out there, launch your products. Remember, you can use the sheet even to relaunch. Okay, we use this. We actually copy this file and we do one for almost every month. So we just keep track of it. There comes a point where we don't track all the business metrics in the front anymore. For us, we get a feel for it eventually. But during the first 35 days, we're pretty religious of filling out all of this information. Like I said, it's also a journal for us. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. And I just got to stop the video now.